Of all the fishing videos out there today, Fluke Style bait videos are one of the most popular. So you may be wondering, well, why in the world am I doing another Fluke Style video? Well, today on Fish Den 365, we're going to show you 2 new ways to rig a fluke. These are new. We're going to show you them underwater so that you can have a comparison just to see what the big deal is all about. But before we get started, I just wanted to remind you one last time that tomorrow, Saturday, March 22nd, there's going to be a fishing flea market at the Salisbury Fire Hall on 1222 Marlowe Street, just off of Susquehanna Street. I'll be there selling some lures. There's going to be a lot of good fishermen out there I'm sure they're going to have a lot of good fishing stuff for sale. It's a $5 entry fee, and the event goes from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Hope to see you there tomorrow, Saturday the 22nd. Okay, so let's talk about some new ways to rig a fluke, and we'll show you some underwater footage. The first way is something that I've been experimenting with other lures recently. You've been seeing these videos, and it's with an Ozark rig. And I've chosen 2 different size Fluke style baits to experiment with. The first one is a Zoom Super Fluke Junior, and the next one is just the Zoom Super Fluke. So we used 2 different rigs. We used the Ozark rig. I won't go over again how to rig it. You can watch this video if you want to see how to rig it. It's really simple. And then this is a brand new way to rig a fluke. It's actually designed for a fluke. It's called the Scamper Rig. And it's simply a hook with a lead weight along part of the shank of the hook. And it's kind of like fluted. You can see it's like a fluted look to that weight. Hopefully you can see that. The advantage of that is once you stick that weight into the bait fully through, well, you'll see, and I'll leave it out a little bit, you can see that because it's fluted like that, it's not coming back out. So it holds really well in the bait. There's a little bit of weight in there, and the nice thing about that is you have this open hook arrangement. You can throw the bait around, and you'll have a much better hookup ratio because it's an open hook. Now, if you're fishing cover, you have to consider that. You may want to go back to a standard Texas rig. But where you have some open water and you want to fish a fluke, this is a dynamite smallmouth presentation, for example, this is the way to go. So let me show you how we use the Scamper rig. It's real simple. This particular Scamper rig is a 2/0 hook and a 1/16 ounce weight. So the 2/0 hook fits the Zoom Super Fluke Junior very well. So let's show you how to rig this up. We're just going to put it in from the nose of the bait. We insert the hook right through the nose, and we want to thread this on as straight as possible. Going to bring it through, and then we're just going to pull and push that fluted part into the fluke. It's a little easier if you wet it first because it is a little bit thick, but once you get it in there, it is not coming out. You have your line tie right here at the top, and now you have a really nice open hook to throw the fluke with here. And so for the Zoom Super Fluke Junior, a 2/0 1/16 ounce hook. I also use it on the Zoom Super Fluke, and the hook to use on that is a same 1/16 ounce, but this time a 4/0 hook, a bigger hook that fits that bait better. So I like the 4/0 hook on the Super Fluke and the 2/0 hook on the Super Fluke Junior. Now when it came to the Ozark rig for the Zoom Super Fluke Junior, I used another 2/0 hook, but it was a 1/8 ounce weight. So 2/0 1/8 ounce. And for the larger fluke, I used the same 1/8 ounce weight, but on again a 4/0 hook. So the common theme here is a 4/0 hook for the Zoom Super Fluke and a 2/0 hook for the Zoom Super Fluke Junior. Now the line I was using was braided line with a fluorocarbon leader of about 15-pound test. I believe I was using Seagar Invisex fluorocarbon leader, about 2 rod lengths. So you know what line I was using in the video, and we'll take you to the videos now to show you these baits underwater, starting with the Zoom Super Fluke Junior on the Ozark rig. Next up, we have the Zoom Super Fluke, the regular Super Fluke on the Ozark rig, 4/0 hook. Next, we have the Zoom Super Fluke Junior on a 2/0 Scamper Rig, 1/16 ounce. And finally, we've got the Zoom Super Fluke on the Scamper Rig, 1/16 ounce, 4/0 hook. Well, as you can see, these baits look pretty interesting in the water. The couple of things that I've noticed, and as I'll show you here, we'll show you some side-by-side video footage as I talk. The Scamper Rig is a little more, I think it does a little more under the water. The Ozark Rig tends to fall more horizontally. The Scamper Rig falls a little bit nose first, a little bit more. The Ozark Rig has a little more of a glide to it because of that belly weighted hook. But the Scamper Rig I thought was interesting because I thought you can do more with it. In other words, I could work it a few different ways. And one thing that I learned is that you can fish it like a jerk bait, just with the twitches of the rod. It works pretty well, just popping the rod up, lifting the bait off. The way that I like to fish it that does not seem to work the same way with the Ozark Rig is you pull the bait forward. And when you do with the Scamper Rig, it has a swimming motion. The tail actually moves, and the bait actually has a little bit of a swimming motion when you pull the rod forward. So that Scamper Rig is unique in that respect. Both rigs look great to me underwater. I think I would fish them depending on the conditions. If the fish bite was slow, if we had cold front conditions, if the fish were turned off, I'm more likely to use the Ozark Rig and fish it slow and just let it glide and just kind of let it look like a dying bait fish near the bottom, gliding it along the bottom slowly. But when those fish are more active, I would fish that Scamper Rig because that way I can use that jerk bait retrieve. I could actually reel it along the surface if I wanted, and it has a good look. And I could also use that pulling retrieve. You just pull your rod and then catch up with the reel, pull your rod, and as you do that, it has that swimming motion and then it kind of dies off. Swimming motion, dies off again. Very interesting action on the Flukes with those two rigs. Well, I hope you thought the video was informative and interesting. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And keep it tuned here because we're going to have another video coming up not too long from now where we show this Scamper Rig on some other baits. And a couple of those are going to be mind-blowing. And if you'd like to watch a video on how to fish a lizard a certain way using a jig head, take a look at this one. Catches a lot of fish. Till next time, hope to see you on the water. Be safe out there. And as always, may God bless your fishing endeavors.